This is Harness Elite Daily. Your edge in all of today's harness racing action. Let's get into it.
Okay, welcome to Harness Elite Daily. I'm JB. I'm your host, covering all things harness racing. Today's May 14th. It's a Thursday. We're closing in on a big weekend of horse racing action. So lots coming up over the weekend in terms of big and exciting races. Today we've got about 95 races, which is about 30% more than yesterday. So that's pretty exciting. Some really good races, I think, at Yonkers and at Plain Ridge. So if you go to harnesselite.com and click on today's racing, you can see an overview of what we call today's top premier races. So there's some very competitive, classy trots happening both at Yonkers and at Plain Ridge today that are worth talking about. We've got a bunch of tracks running today. Charlottetown, Flameborough, Hoosier, Meadows, Monticello, Philly, Plain Ridge, Rosecroft, Scioto, and Yonkers. Rosecroft's coming in. They must only have a couple dates left in their season, but I think it's been a great year, I think, at Rosecroft. The racing has been really top flight competitive, and nice, good-sized cards as well, good fields. So kudos to Rosecroft for a great season. In terms of yesterday, in our bets, each day here on Harness Elite, we give out some of our top ranked, these are computer picks from our algorithm that I've been developing for 5 years. Some of the top picks that the algorithm liked. And we got a bunch of those today that I'll tell you about. But yesterday we had 3 of them. Just one of them won, but it was enough for a positive profit. All 3 of them were, if you bet all of them to win, all 3 were trot races, which is a little rare. I think one of them went off stride, one came in second place, and the other one won and paid $660. So if you flat bet them, that would have been profitable. Again, that's part of our Diamond and Dog series. And I think today we have 5 picks. We also, at the very end, I'll pick Major League Baseball as well. I've gambled professionally on both horses and sports for more than a decade, and my bread and butter is baseball. So I can't help but throw in some baseball picks. We had 3 of them yesterday, baseball picks. 2 of them hit, and the third, which was a home favorite, which is the worst odds, but he's minus 130 on the Brewers, and they gave it up in the 9th inning to a 3-run homer when they had the lead. So we got screwed out of that. But if you bet the baseball picks yesterday, you would have been made more than a unit, 1.2 units in profit if you flat bet the MLB picks. So I hope you bet those too, because I know we're going to make a lot of money. I call it Diamond or Dogs, so play it or fade it. You could decide whether you want to bet it or not once you hear my rationale. But I'm pretty confident in time, and I'll put it all on the website. We'll track it all. Pretty confident that we're going to turn a profit in all of these buckets. So, fade me if you want, but hopefully you're with me. Okay, so that was a little bit about today's racing. On the strategic wagering front, this is the USTA, U.S. Trotting Association's program for high visibility wagers that either have guarantees or carryovers. There's really only 2 things happening. One's just the super high 5 at Hoosier in race 14. That's a guaranteed 10,000. And then Monticello has an early pick 5, which we are just about to start. So if you're listening to this, you probably missed that. The pool is only 3,000. So small change there. Okay. Diamonds or Dogs. Let's get into it today. These are the bets that I like today in harness racing. Give me a second and I'll pull them up. Okay, the first one is at Scioto, and you're going to have to wait all the way until you're so tired you can barely stand it. That's race 16 at Scioto. I was listening to the Otten sister. I think one of the Ottens, Jenna, Jessica, whatever. They both seem like really pleasant people. Whoever was doing this sort of handicapper commentary the other night, man, by the time they got to the 16th race, I'm not saying they were yawning, but they definitely sounded like someone that needed to go to bed. I mean, these cards at Scioto, wow, they just go on and on and on. I love it. I think it's great that you can count on them, that, they're still going at 11 o'clock at night. And the racing is competitive. And, so I love it. I get some people out there complain that it sort of drags on, but I like it. Okay, 16th race. You got to wait all the way to the end. This was the top ranked bet for the day. And I was a little bit surprised by it when I saw it. Breaking from the 8 hole, it's Tyler Smith on Uncle Moneybags. And I mean, looking at this one, hold on, I'm still scrolling to him. I mean, he's the classiest horse in the field. That's clear. He's a hard late closer, and there's definitely upfront speed here. I think there's 4 or 5 horses that could challenge for the lead. Of course, break from the 8 is a disadvantage, but at Scioto, maybe not so much as many other tracks. I mean, I think the post positions there, other than the 5 position, are all, very similar. Anyway, so Tyler Smith drives. He came in second last time in the dead heat. Yeah, the time before that, he lost by a nose. So he's definitely the classiest, speediest horse in the race, and he's a hard closer. So, if you're seeing the fast fractions carve up here, you can start counting your money on Uncle Moneybags, I think. Okay, next one was at Hoosier Park in the 13th race. These are in the order that the computer spit them out, right? This means that these are the bets that they felt the strongest, had the highest chance to win. Now, you have to interpret what you think of the odds. Generally, I think if they're really low, if they go super short, you're probably just better to bet it to place, or you're better to bet it in an exacta, right? Over some long shots. Do not bet it ever in an exacta with the second favorite, right? It might be the most likely outcome, but it's going to pay terrible. So if you're new to harness betting, let me tell you this: exactas are not your friend unless you're betting prices, right? You cannot put the lowest prices, the lowest odds horses together in any sort of exacta permutation and expect to cash a ticket, because they're going to get hammered. So exactas are great, but they're not great if you do it that way. Even in thoroughbred racing, you can get away with it a little bit more, right? You can box, 2 or 3 of the top 3 or 4 horses, and you could still break even on that bet occasionally, depending on how short price the favorite is. That logic does not hold true in harness racing at all. It's much rarer. Okay, so Hoosier Park 13. Let me get to it. This is number 7, Mystical Rock, driven by Trace Tetrick. I actually really liked this bet when I was looking at him. I mean, of course, we don't know the odds yet, but he's, I think, let me get there. Here we are. Everything is such a pain right now. Again, this is Hoosier Park 13, number 7, Mystical Rocket. Okay, so let me tell you about him. Definitely the classiest horse in the race again, so he's probably going to get bet down. Coming out of Philadelphia, where this is his second real start of the season. He did run 2 qualifiers, which is always, I think, a good sign. And both of those qualifiers, were like, there was a little bit of effort there, right? They weren't just like they ran around the track and they knew they were going to qualify. They're good qualifiers. He showed the progression in the first up start, the horse at Philly, running a 152-3, and for a driver, Corey Callahan, and who's not just sort of middle of the road driver. So to bump from Corey Callahan to Trace Tetrick, it's a pretty serious upgrade, and to be like theoretically dropping in class and second up. I mean, this horse is definitely going to be 1-9 or 2-5. You could look on our website again in the today's racing tab, and you could see like the projected off odds for this horse. I didn't look, but I'm sure it's going to be low. Okay, Hoosier Park, that's a good one, and I'll put all these in the show notes so that you don't have to like write these down, but they'll be in the show notes. Next one, Philadelphia Race 12. Let me see if I can get there really fast. Thanks for your patience. I tried to get this all set up correctly, and I kind of blew it. My iPad died, so I had to switch to another iPad. What the heck? I feel like I spend my entire life charging devices and looking for devices, but I love the iPads. If you don't gamble with an iPad, I think you're really missing out. I make too many mistakes on the phone, so the iPad is just a way better, the bigger screen is a lot better for me. And I have 3 or 4 of them that I use that I change out as the battery dies or I use for different things. Okay. Philadelphia Race 12. Okay. So this is a trot for non-winner 7,500, last 5, $10,000 purse. So not a particularly high class race, but not the bottom of the barrel by any stretch either. Okay, so I like the 6. The computer liked the 6, clear for landing, driven by Simon Allard. So there's a little bit of a post position thing. I don't love post 6. It's not a huge negative at all at a 5/8 track, but I don't love it. And I don't love the driver is another one of these middle of the road guys, but the combination of post and driver means that we might get a little bit of value on this, right? You might not get bet down the same if it was Tim Tetrick on this horse in the 5 spot, right? So we might get a little bit of value here. And what the algorithm liked here is that this horse is definitely moving into an easier race, and he looks live, right? He looks live in that his last race he did come off the pylons and make up a little bit of ground at a slightly higher level. That was non-winners of 15,000 for a purse of 13,000. So this is definitely an easier race. And what I liked about this horse too is that he's versatile, right? I think he can make the lead, and I think he can close. And so Allard has some choices in this race. So I think this is a great bet. I'm not sure what the off odds will be. I didn't check the diagram, but there's maybe the 4 that will get some money. So he might not be a super heavy favorite. He'd probably be the favorite though. Again, Philadelphia Race 12, number 6, clear for landing. Okay. Last one of these, I promise. We're going to Charlottetown. Actually, I might have. No, we got a couple more of these I like. Okay, we're going to Charlottetown. Race 10. I really liked this one when I looked at this. Probably going to get bet down to impossibly low levels. But one of the things I liked about this is Charlottetown Race 10, the horse Miss Contour. It's a class dropper. I would definitely consider it to be a live class dropper in this race. And I don't know the personalities involved here, but I'll tell you about what I do know. So Miss Contour, previously driven by, he's been driven a couple of times by Mitchell Downey, the owner, and then by Michael Downey. Now, Michael Downey seems to be a little bit, Mitchell's the trainer, so Michael's got to be one of these local hocal kind of guys driving this horse. And, the horse last time sort of faded off the board. It didn't do so well. But he's clearly, when you look at his numbers, he's clearly the best horse. And there isn't much in here that's capable of running, I think, below 2 minutes in this race, right? There's a caveat there, right? I mean, maybe the 3, maybe the 4. The 3 really depends on the fitness, and there's reason to believe he's not super fit. The 5, though, I think, we'll put a line through that last ride. I think he's probably the best, and I expect a more patient drive this time from Michael Downey. Okay, so that's Miss Contour. And again, it fits that same paradigm that I really like, and it's not the best post at Charlottetown, and it's definitely a driver. I mean, I can't think of a time I've ever bet on this guy. It's definitely a driver that is probably not going to get that bet down. Right. The X factor with this is that class drops do get bet down. So you we might lose some value there, and that this race doesn't look like a really great race, right? There doesn't look like much else in it. But I think this is an interesting one, and I'm gonna bite on it for sure. That's why it's here on the list. Okay, one more at Charlottetown, race 11, the number 4 Lady Cafe Olay. Now this one, it's really about past class. In the level the horse was racing in at Woodbine. So, back in March, it won 2 in a row at Woodbine at a higher level. The horse looks like it has early speed, which is great for Charlottetown. And, he had to run a qualifier here at Charlottetown. And that qualifier, I think, was fine. There's no concerns there. He came off the rail, closed, finished in first. There's no concern that the horse has been on a little bit of a layoff, more than a month. The trainer doesn't seem to have any issues with that. So this looks like a great bet. I do think he will be bet down, though. It really depends on how Sweet Molly in the 1 hole, driven by David Dowling, so a popular driver, is bet. Now, that horse can certainly win this race, the number 1. So I think this makes it pretty interesting. But Lady Cafe Olay, I think looks like a great bet for all of us. Okay, then there's one last one. I promise this is it. It's in actually the first race in Hoosier Park. Sorry, I'm doing these in rank order that they came out of the algorithm. Hoosier Park 1, Renegade Gypsy. So this is the number 6. John DeLong is the driver. That's nice. This is a top-ranked, dominant looking horse who seems to be in form and looks to me like he's versatile. He both can grind, he can close, and he can make the lead. Obviously, the driver and the post, the 6th post and the driver at Hoosier Park mean this horse is going to really get bet down. So you should be looking for some value to pair him with in the exacta. And if you look at our tip sheets, again at harnesselite.com, and you look at the Hoosier Park tip sheet, we use these different factors to rank horses. And when there's green check marks, this is a good factor. So anytime, if you've seen any long shots or horses greater than 5, 6 to 1 that have green, it's great to put the favorite over those horses, right? Putting the favorite over the co-favorite, that's not great. Maybe the 3rd choice and a couple long shots, that could be a really great exacta bet here. Okay, that's our harness racing stuff for today. And then Major League Baseball, I'm going to fly through these picks. There's a bunch of them. The first up is the Pirates over the Rockies, but this is on the spread, so on the run line. So minus 1.5 is the run line, and this you should be able to get plus 130. I mean, I think it's about the Pirates pitching for sure. The Rockies offensive struggling. The Pirates, the Rockies struggling offensively. So I like this bet a lot. Again, that's the Pirates to cover the run line over the Rockies on the road. Next up was a totals bet. This is Nationals versus the Reds, taking the over 8. I mean, the Reds offense has been really strong. They're averaging more than 5 runs a game, 5.5 runs. The Nationals have a terrible bullpen, so maybe they blow up late. And I think the starting pitchers both have more question marks than positive signs at this point. Okay, Nationals versus Reds on the over. I love that bet. Okay, Brewers versus the Padres. Now, we went down in flames last night on the Brewers. I'm coming right back at it again. The Brewers are the favorites here. I like the starter. The Padres offense, and so I like this one a lot. I think the Brewers are just overall better at this point in the season, so I think they can make amends for they can make amends for what happened last night when they lost to the Padres 3-1 and took our unit away. Okay. Cardinals on the money line versus the Athletics. You should be able to get plus 103, 110, something like that. Shop around. The Cardinals have been great on the road if you've been paying attention. The Athletic starter is not doing super well control-wise. He's 7 walks per 9 innings. Why the Athletics are favored at home when they're like not even like a legit home team, I don't even understand. But I think this is a great value, right? Anytime you can get a little bit better than even money on a team that's in better form, that's great. Okay, here's another one that I like. The Red Sox plus 100. They had a much-needed win yesterday, and maybe momentum is changing a little bit for the Red Sox. I think this is a really favorable matchup for the Red Sox. And, to get even money versus the Phillies, I think is a really good bet in this situation. Just as I like that, same game, I also like the over 7.5. The Phillies pitching has been too inconsistent. I think the run total will be over 8, no problem. So, I think that's a really great bet. And then we got just 2 more. Another run line, Dodgers versus the Giants. Dodgers minus 1.5. I mean, they're facing the worst scoring offense in professional baseball in the Giants. I think the Dodgers historically hit this pitcher well. I think the plus 125 that you're going to get on this spread is good, given that I think there's little question to me they're going to win outright. It's just, will they cover? That being said, I also like the over here. I think the runs in this game could be 9, 10 plus. So I think this over is a nice incentive as well. We're going to get one of the two, but ideally, I think we're going to get both of these bets. So anyway, those are the baseball bets for the day. I'm going to post them in the thing, in the show notes. Good luck with all your betting today, whether it's harness or the baseball picks that I provided. Enjoy the races today for harness racing. I know I'm going to be hanging around late night tonight watching Charlottetown, then Yonkers, Rosecroft, Scioto. It's going to be a great late night Hoosier. If you're into the night action, that's great. Of course, thoroughbred racing, if you follow that as well, besides the Preakness this weekend, a lot of the tracks are going to their more spring-summer schedule now, so the post times are later. So you'll see more thoroughbred activity later in the day. I think Belmont's post time today is 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. So lots of action for the bettors today. Anyway, again, my name's JB. This is HarnessElite.com. We're the number one source, I think, for information for harness racing, and we're really trying to fuse in sports betting information as well and create something new and exciting. I'll post all the picks, and I'll let you know how we did tomorrow. So let's make some money. Have a good day.
You've been listening to Harness Elite Daily. Harness Elite Daily. Your edge in today's harness racing action. For all of today's free and premium content, insights, and picks, head to HarnessElite.com.